Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 5 Drinks for Midnight Quarantine Edition. Today we're talking to Denver Cramer from Denver and LIELY, the Australian glass company. Let's go check them out. Before we do, like and subscribe. So Denver Cramer, thank you so much for joining us for 5 Drinks for Midnight. 5 questions, 5 drinks. What's our first drink or our first glass?
Our first glass, our first dram. I'm gonna have this guy right here. So this is an Ardmore.
Okay.
20-year-old. It's a Highland whiskey, but it's actually done in Islay casks. So I'll give you a little bit of rundown here. A marriage of first fill ex-bourbon and ex-Islay casks. So I think mostly it's done 20 years in ex-bourbon, and then I think finished, so like 6 months or something in an Islay cask. So it's pretty aged whiskey and then finished pretty nicely. So you get this like, how would I describe it? It's like a really mild, I guess my tasting note would be like a really welcome twisting of the balls with a velvet glove.
Okay. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Chin chin, chin chin.
Ding, ding. Our first question is, how'd you guys get started in the glass business?
Good question. How we started? We kind of fell into it really. So both of us are in engineering, and LIELY and I just met out in a bar. So he just moved over from New Zealand about 11 years ago. And this is the first week that he'd moved to New Zealand with like his new little family. And I met him in a bar there for a design function, and then we just hit it off straight away. So like both of us are into mountain bikes and both into cars and that sort of gear, and just geeking out on like tech stuff. And so then we just became mates and mountain biking every week, and there was a bit of a crew, and then just time went on and both of us got quite into whiskey. Basically what happened, I was away in Myanmar and just ended up drawing this particular shape, and then I ran it past LIELY, who was back in Australia at the time, and he had a look at it and he said, yeah, well, we might as well get a prototype done. So we just got a prototype done. And that got sent to my office at the time, and all we had was like, all I had was tea and coffee and whatever. So I tried a cup of tea, this glass, so it was this one. And it worked, like with a cup of tea. So I just tried back to back with a cup of tea with a mug of tea and this, just to test like the smell and taste. If there was any smell and taste difference, because I had a hunch in my head and just, I guess like fluid dynamics and a few different things like run around in my head. And it worked, and I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. So I got, like, I couldn't wait to get home. Like, I couldn't get home quick enough just to try some whiskey in it. And of course it was right. So then from there was like 7 iterations and professional tasting and a whole bunch of different stuff. And then, and then we released the glass. So we had like some great help from like Balvenie. So the world ambassador from Balvenie. And then also the founder of like Starwood whiskey in Australia.
Yep.
And just like there was a bunch of help when we needed it, but those were the 2 sort of major players. And then it just rolled on from there, like five and a bit years ago now.
Yeah. You have with 6 glasses out?
We have 5. We have like technically 4 really, and then there's one that's stainless steel.
Yep, I have that. Yeah, because I was like, I have them all. So
you got the Traveler.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, actually, and I love this. This is fucking amazing. This is actually.
Like, it's a good bit of kit.
Like that, like just right on the back of the backpack, like that. I use this pretty much for it. Anytime I'm transporting something, it's actually really fucking. And then this one too. Love this. This is.
No way. How did you get that?
From your site. Like as soon as you guys put this on, like this.
That was it was only up there for like a month or 2 months,
like that. But like this is just
the kangaroo.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Tim.
Amazing. So yeah.
There's not many of those in the US, that's for sure.
Yeah, like this is just I fucking love like just the whole thing, and like this is just I just leave this out just when you have guests over, just as like what is it kind of like this is just a party starter. So this is just fucking amazing. Yeah, but
the Explorer, that's actually designed like you're meant to like roughen that up. Yeah. So as you like rough it up over time, the leather gets softer.
I can't do it. It's just so pretty. Like I don't want people to touch it. Like it's
wait, I should show you one that I have here. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Check this out, Tim. So this was done for the Bushfires fundraiser, and it was up for auction, and I ended up buying it. But look at that. Unbelievable. That's hand painted.
Wow.
It's amazing. Incredible. I just couldn't let that go to anyone else, so I just bought it. Unbelievable. Even signed by the artist. Like, stunning work.
Freaking amazing.
Yeah.
That's like this is just I can't let anybody touch it too much because it's so pretty. Like I know you're saying to rough it up, but it's just so pretty, and like the whole stamp down on the bottom, it's just
and it matches the glass.
Yeah.
So those glasses are pretty limited edition sort of stuff.
So that's all right. Well, that's question 1. Super easy.
Okay.
Question 2. What are we drinking now?
I'm gonna go. Like this has been pretty much my favorite whiskey since I got it. You can see the color of that.
That's super dark.
Yeah, it's fully dark. You can't even see anything behind it. So that is a Adelphi independent bottling.
All right.
Of one of my favorite distilleries, which is one called Dalyuen. It's a way lesser known one. Normally their spirits go into like Diageo blended malts.
Okay.
But occasionally, like a couple of barrels get out, and the independent bottlers try and buy it straight away. And then the people that know to look for these particular names. And so it's not astronomical money, but it's astronomical whiskey. Like it's so good. You can see that.
Yeah.
Like imagine if they released that, and that's a First Field Oloroso sherry, I think. And listen to these tasting notes, Tim. Listen to this. So I read this on the net and I was like, holy crap, gotta have that. Tasting notes. Treacle sponge with waxy Sevilla orange peel and clotted creme anglaise. I don't know what anglaise is. Cadbury's Twix with hazelnut oil and dark chocolate to finish.
That sounds amazing.
And it is amazing. It's unbelievable. No worries.
All right,
what you got?
Question 2. Cheers,
mate. Chin.
So you guys have the motto that you don't want to work with anybody that you wouldn't share a drink with.
Yep.
Who's like the white whale of somebody that you want to work with?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like,
who's the white whale that would want to work with? I would love to work with Marcus Mumford, if you know who he is.
Don't. Sorry.
Do you know the band Mumford & Sons?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want to work with that guy.
Okay.
Apparently, he's quite a big whiskey drinker. And I'd love to just like hang out with that guy and maybe do something with, like a cross between whiskey and music.
Excellent.
I'd love to do something along those lines. That would be my jam, actually. I think he'd be a cool guy just even to sit and hang out and have a few drams with him and finish half a bottle with.
Yeah, no, I see.
Just have him like just pull out the guitar and then just knock out stuff and just like have a little bit of a sing along.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, again, super easy. Question 2 done. So that didn't even get a chance to fully enjoy my whiskey. So
maybe pour half drams, I guess. Let's do question 3. I'll have a gin. Actually, I'm gonna have the gin. So this one here is actually from some of my mates, a guy out of North Carolina, over that way, but moved to Melbourne and then made mates with another dude here, so just kind of like a hub business as well. But I'm friends with the American dude.
Nice. It's a gorgeous bottle.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like you can see, there's like a foil on it. There's a shine. So it's really, really well branded, like super nicely branded. and yeah, nice top on it as well. And yeah, really cool dudes. And they make it out in basically like the Brooklyn of Melbourne, so like out in Brunswick.
All right.
In the city. So about like Brooklyn from Manhattan. So I'll tell you a little bit about this one actually. One fortuitous day in 2018, in one of Melbourne's many rooftop bars, two inebriated, foolhardy friends were inspired to found a craft distillery. Their aim to make moonshine or gin, honouring the spirit of Southern US British heritage. They have created this unique drop using a closely guarded family recipe, Cascara, the sweet sherry from Campos Coffee. Oh, okay. They got Memo Melbourne, here's some bloody gin. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so these guys originally started with moonshine and then they went on to this, and they've got another whiskey called the Goswell, which is like, so great for a rye whiskey out of Australia.
Oh, nice. All right, excellent. Well, on to question 3.
Well, yeah, sure.
Cheers.
Chin chin.
Right. Chin chin.
It's delicious. So junipery. So super fresh.
So, question 3. You guys talked about it's more than a glass. It's a starting point. It's like a fight club. What would be the rules of your fight club?
Another good question, man. What would be the rules of our fight club? First of all, there is no fight club. No. I want people to talk about the fight club, but it's a starting point. It's a conversation starter. For us, we do a lot of like research and engineering and all that kind of stuff to make sure that you can smell what the distiller's trying to do. So in a lot of glasses, it gets muddied up, or it just flies out, or it's at the wrong speed. And then also when it hits your tongue, you're not getting as much taste. So you'll notice like the diameter on that gin glass is actually wider than the whiskey glass. So if you put the whiskey glass on top of it, you'll see how much wider it is. But if you put that upside down onto it, obviously you've got whiskey in it, but like you can see it then. But we really try and understand what the distiller's trying to do, and then also try and, I guess we're kind of like the the double adapter or whatever. Like we're the conduit between the distiller and the home customer. And so that wasn't really quite done really well before. So the distiller will put a lot of work into this bottle, but the glass changes a lot of things. So then a lot of their work can be lost, like if it goes to the home customer and not drunk properly. Basically it's a starting point. I want people to be able to find all the different notes that people are talking about, and then be able to talk about it, and then try and explore even what they already have again. So like, if you, like, we've had it from multiple customers that will buy our glass, especially in the States now, like the bourbon glass seems to be going reasonably well. But people will go through all their bourbons again and then go like, oh, wait a second, this is a whole different game now. So it's just basically, and I guess the fight is probably against other glasses versus us. But we're the only ones who do the proper research. Like I'll ask like Pam, say at Michter's, is this what you want to smell and taste? And she'll say, no, or blah, 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 change this or whatever. And then we turn that into something physical, and then we go from there. So basically what we've got there is the average of all of these distillers. Like we had help from the Russells family from Wild Turkey, and we were over at Heavens Hill and with up at Willett for a little bit, and Michter's as well. And there's so many people that helped us out. Like over in Nashville, the Greenbrier, those boys over there, they helped out a lot. So Andy Nelson, I don't know if you know him, but like he's super dude. But we had tons of help. It was awesome being over there, man. And the barbecue and the chicken, like
there you go. That's amazing. All right, on to question 4.
All right, let's do it.
What do you want to? You want to stick with what we're drinking, or?
I'm gonna go an agave, actually.
All right.
So I'm gonna go a mezcal. Let me tell you about this bad boy. if you can get your hands on this is something that you might be able to get your hands on probably like Texas or California.
Okay.
This brand, but you won't be able to get this one because this is one that they only release inside Mexico. So this is a brand called Alipus, and they do a bunch of conservation work. They're also part of a group called Los Danzantes. So I saw this in the airport on the way out of Mexico City, and I just couldn't believe it. So this is a special edition 2018 Mezcal Ancestral. So there's Mezcal Ancestral, Traditional, and then it says nothing. There's 3 different things that can happen. And so Ancestral means they actually hand cut the cactus.
Okay.
Then they're roasted and blah, blah, blah. It's like super, super hand done. And this is one of those. So the traditional one, they can use like a grater, and the other one, they can basically use a machine and just do the whole thing through a machine. So that's why you look for these different things. But if you see Mezcal Ancestral, that's the good shit.
All right.
So I can't remember how much this was. I think it was like sort of $80 US. And it's 53% Araqueño and 47% Espadín, which most people know what Espadín is, but they don't know what Araqueño is. So these are some really great agaves from a particular area called San Miguel. And that's like, it's the adventure that got us into this, man, into this glass. It was never meant to happen, this glass.
Excellent. Well, we're going to go ahead and...
What do you think about this glass, actually? Tell me.
I like it. It's so cool. Like,
it's so different to the other ones.
Yeah. It definitely... I like the little... the ball shape that you have of it. It totally reminds me of like science class. Like it was definitely like one of those cool like science beakers things. And then again, I love the actual the stomp of that you have such a thick bottom of it.
Yeah.
I love that your logo is actually just floating in there. It looks so cool. Like that's like you get that. Like it's amazing. So like that, it's a really cool glass.
Did you notice something about the logo?
Yeah, it's floating. And then
no. What else about the logo? How is it different to the other glasses?
It's got like crosshairs in it.
Do you know why it's got the crosshairs?
I do not.
So that's a little nod to the history of mezcal and tequila. So like they still do actually drink them out of veladoras, which are little fluted glasses about this big. They're little ones. You'll see them in like bars in New York as well, in Mexican bars, and they have a little cross in the bottom because they used to take, veladora means candle, and so they take the candles from the church. Once they're finished with the wax, then they drink mezcal out of them, and they end up in all the bars and everything because it was easy to get, it was super cheap to get, and they have their little cross from the church. And so we decided to pay it because that's where it came from. Like the glass came from over there, and so we decided to pay a little nod to the history. Just put a little subtle sort of cross in the bottom.
Very nice.
And change the. Well, the logo's still there, but there's this little cross. If people get the link, they get it. If they don't, they don't. That's fine.
I did not, but I mean, I thought like now, but again, it's just freaking amazing. So like that's so.
Thanks, man.
So, cheers.
Cheers. Salud.
All right.
Salud.
On to question 4. You guys have traveled the world. What would you fill your traveler with, and where would you want to go next?
Out of this house. What would I fill it with next? Oh, it changes. It's like asking me, what's your favorite song or something like that. It depends on the day and depends on temperature and what's happening in my life. Like right now, like this is like making my heart go 246. Like this is like some special whiskey. That's only 12 years old, but it's delicious. So I'd probably put that in the I'd do that, or I'd probably do like a rye Manhattan.
Okay.
Because the Traveler is insulated. You know that, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, double wall stainless steel, so you can like take drinks anywhere. But I'd probably make like a maybe a cross between a Manhattan and a hot toddy. So I'd make it warm or hot. and then just go out for probably a hike around here, actually. And then if I was going to travel somewhere in the world, my favorite place at the moment is probably like Marin Heads over in San Fran.
Okay.
Love that area, but I'm probably due back in Nashville.
All right.
I want to get back to Nashville. Like, I've got some good friends there, and there was a couple that I stayed with in an Airbnb the first time I went there, and I've stayed with them ever since. And they're just like my parents or something there, and they even keep bottles and stuff for me when I'm there. And
Very nice.
I always stay at their place again, and their cooking is like, Mum's cooking is just like schmick. So I'm like the replacement sort of Aziz Ansari's son. But yeah, I'd probably go there, and I'd share that cocktail with them, just on the porch out the front in that East Nashville there.
Awesome. That's amazing. So cool. All right. Well, cheers. That's question 4.
Cheers to them.
Flying down. It's not even midnight yet, so you're good.
Awesome.
And the last one is going to be a flip of a coin. So the Whiskey Wednesday coin is it says "fuck yeah" on one side, and then "fuck no" on the other.
Okay, cool.
So it's a yes or no question.
Go for it.
At the end. All right. Do we want to switch it up for our last drink? Do you?
Yeah.
One last glass to. So
what I'm drinking now is this guy here. So Balvenie Double Wood 12 year.
Very
And
nice.
this will be. The other day I just had an interview with Gemma Patterson. Do you know her?
I do not.
So she was the rep actually for New York for
Okay.
Balvenie, and then she became the world ambassador for Balvenie. So now, so this is in toast to her actually,
Excellent.
and this is actually the first ever finished whiskey. So finished in another barrel. So before this, it was always only ever done in bourbon barrels. And so then this was the first time that it was ever finished in another cask, and in this case it was sherry.
Oh,
So
excellent.
it used to be called Balvenie Classic, and that was the first release, and now they call it Double Wood. And
Excellent. That's going to be...
It's a marker in the history of whiskey, pretty much, that whiskey.
Well, all right. Cheers.
Cheers, mate!
So, ding, ding. All right. So normally around this time, I would tell you that you get your Whiskey Wednesday coin. You can flip it, you can spin it, you can do whatever you want. It's a good chunk of metal. It's definitely.
I can't wait.
So yeah, they're on their way. I promise. So.
No, you're all right, mate. All good.
So the question is. So you spent 2 years in Mexico. Is it true that you're using this quarantine thing to hide out because you got in trouble in Mexico while doing research for the agave glass? So we'll go ahead and we'll flip.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Fuck no, it is. It's a lot easier when you much more fun when you do it. But yeah, so yeah, so that's it. That's 5 drinks at midnight. I really appreciate your time, and yeah.
No worries, man. I can't wait for this coin. I'm looking forward to the coin. Yeah.
Well, excellent, sir. Thank you again so much. I really appreciate your time. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
We'll talk soon.
All right. See ya.
Yeah.